Hi everyone, this is Gwen from My Spiritual Butterfly. Welcome to my channel. I am a Reiki Master Teacher. I've been practicing Reiki for 8 years and I'm also a life coach. I've been a life coach for 15 years now. What I wanted to talk about today was I wanted to share with you a tool by Abraham Hicks. Those of you know I'm a big Abraham Hicks fan and really love sharing their law of attraction tools and teachings. So this is a really nice tool I'm going to share with you today that will help you to improve your relationships. And this can be any relationship. It could be a love relationship, friendship, work relationship, family even. So any relationship where there is still maybe a charge, or you're not quite getting on, but a relationship where you at your heart, you would like it to be different. Doesn't necessarily mean you want that person back in your life if they're no longer in your life. It also doesn't mean that you're condoning anything they did to you. Yeah. But basically, when we're able to let go of that relationship, shift through that relationship, no longer have the charge, it frees us and it frees them as well. So a lot of my clients have this issue. I even have this issue, and it can come up every now and again with someone. But when you are thinking about someone who has caused you a problem, upset you in some way, you may be really frustrated with, really angry with, really upset with, maybe they've hurt you. And every time you think of them, you're going back to that hurt, that pain. What you're actually doing is you're actually surrounding them in that energy of pain, of hurt, of not enoughness, of judging them a certain way. And they can only show up the way you expect them. Yeah, people can only show up the way you expect them to show up. They may be completely different with other people. They may have great friends, people that love them, but with you just don't get on. They may not even know why they react to you the way they react to you, why they can't be different with you. But a lot of that is to do with the energy that's surrounding them because of your ongoing narrative about them and what it means and what they've done and who they are, how they affect you. If you're going into that process of thinking about them, that creates more of that energy around them. And as I said, they can only show up the way you expect them to show up. So with the Abraham Hicks tool, this is called Positive Aspects. And I really like this because what it's doing, it's allowing us to find some points of compassion about that person. So even if it's one thing we can think of that, okay, they're a human being like me, they're all, a child of the universe like me, maybe at their core, their love. Or even if you go to the phrase I like, hurt people, understanding that if anyone is doing anything bad right now, it's usually because they haven't had a great start in life. They haven't had that loving childhood. And so they haven't learned to break that chain of pain, and they're literally lashing out and hurting people too. So even that is a point of compassion that you can kind of lean into, which allows a little crack of light through all of that negative thinking that you're doing about them. So anything positive aspects is literally that you're thinking of anything positive about that person. And if it's one thing, two things, or a whole list of things, that's going to create a different energy around them. And it's great to write that down. So Abraham Hicks say we write down whatever you can think of that's positive about that person, whether it's a family member, your mom, a friend, your boss at work. Just writing down any positive aspects about that person, even if it's like they're good at their job, whatever it might be. And you're just writing that down. And then what I do, I like to get my clients to read that for 7 days. Just read it, no expectations, just read it. What it's doing, as I said, it's starting to break that narrative down that you typically have about that person. It's starting to change the energy. And anytime you find yourself outside of reading your little positive aspects list, anytime you find yourself going back into that old narrative, just shut that down with something like peace be with you. You're thinking about them and normally like, oh, I can't stand that, but peace be with you. Just say that, yeah? And that also brings more peace back to you. What we give out comes back to us. But that's starting to, again, break that cycle. It's starting to make that neuro pathway a little bit more defunct. You're building a new neuro pathway about them. More importantly, you're taking away the charge, that energetic connection that you have to them. A lot of spiritualists talk about cutting cords. It's a similar thing, really. It's all energy. So when you're no longer thinking those things about them, you're no longer getting that energy in your body, that charge in your body about them, you have freed yourself and you've freed them as well. But more importantly, you've freed you. Yeah. So they no longer trigger you. Thoughts of them no longer trigger you. You're able to just continue your life, but then siphon that energy back to you, because energy never dies, it just transforms. So when you freed yourself of that energy, you're now able to use that to give yourself more love, for example. This is how the positive aspects work. It's a really, really simple, easy technique, brings in that compassion, brings in that love, and just, as I said, allows you to live life in a freer way. But also that person may well show up differently next time you speak to them. You know, if you're expecting that whenever you ring your sister, she's always moaning, she's always complaining, and you expect that. You pick up the phone, you speak to her, that's what she does. She moans, she complains. If you have done the positive aspects, you expect something different from that interaction, you will get something different. She'll be happy, she'll be in a better mood, she won't be complaining. You'll be amazed how quickly this works for me and my clients as well. The other thing you can do to help with relationships, which isn't a law of attraction tool, but this is a Buddhist technique or a Buddhist prayer called Metta Bhavana, and it stands for loving kindness. And this is a really beautiful prayer because it kind of starts with you. It's a meditation really, but it starts with you where you're sending yourself that love and you're saying things like, may I be healthy, may I be happy, may I be free from pain and suffering, and may I be whatever it is you want to kind of say for yourself. So you're saying these things for you first of all. Then you move to say it for someone who you love, which is obviously really, really easy to do. You can do that. Then you move to someone neutral. So it might just be the person who works in the shop, or the receptionist at work, or someone that you don't have much interaction with, and therefore you don't really have positive or negative view of them. They're just, in your life, and that's fine. Then you move to, and this is the tricky one, somebody who does trigger you. Yeah. So whether it's someone that frustrates you, someone you're angry with, someone who has hurt you really badly in the past. It could be an ex, it could be anybody. I've even had clients do this with people who've abused them in childhood, and they have been able to just shift and move to forgiveness, which just really sets them free. So you can use it for anything you like that, in that when you're focused on someone who, the Buddhists will say your enemy, but it will be someone who causes a trigger in you. And then finally, you move to all humanity, all living things, all sentient beings without exception. And as you're doing that, because it starts with self, it radiates out from you really powerfully. And by the time you get to the person that triggers you, you've softened a little bit. You may have to do it a few times for a few days, but you will find that things kind of shift. I think the proviso is that in your heart, you have to want to do this. If you don't, and you're still angry, you're still triggered, you might find this difficult. But if you know that you really want to shift the energy between this person and you, remembering what I said, it doesn't mean you want them back in your life. You just want to not have that energy, that angst, that pain in your body about that person. So those are really good things you can try. So the positive aspects, which is writing down all the positive things about that person and reading it for 7 days. That's one great thing. Saying peace be with you every time that narrative pops up in your head, just to break that cycle, break that narrative down. And then doing the loving kindness meditation, which works really powerfully well. I'll put a link to my loving kindness meditation in the description, so you can have it there. There's also a lot of other free tools in there you may want to take a look at. But yeah, this works powerfully well for me. They're my 3 go-to things when I'm looking at moving to forgiveness. And it's possible, no matter what the person has done to you, because you are love, you have the capacity to move into that forgiveness state, to let go, to move on and free yourself, free them, and just open up your life in a completely different way. So I hope that helps. Please like, share, put something in the comments. Let me know if you've tried any of these things, or that you may have something you've tried that works a lot better for you. Definitely share that. Do subscribe and click the bell so you get notified as to when I publish a new video. But for anything regarding a mindset, spirituality, Reiki, this is what I'm all about. So if you want to know more about that, then definitely hit the bell so you'll get a notification when I release the next video, which will be very soon. And if you have any questions for me as well, put them in the comments. I do check the comments. I always reply. But yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Take care. Bye.